Welcome to the Gray Area. Kevin Gray of 105.3 The Fan. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel right here on YouTube at Kevin Gray Sports. Appreciate all the support for the YouTube channel. The Dallas Mavericks could have used a little bit more support as they fall 112-109 to the Milwaukee Bucks, snapping their 4-game winning streak. They were again without Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson, Josh Richardson, and also Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber due to COVID protocols once again, as the Dallas Mavericks fall to Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks by 3 in what turned out to be a competitive basketball game. Giannis was his usual self, scoring 31 points in 30 minutes, going 14 of 21 from the field, but was only 1 of 10 from the free throw line. Subsequently, Luka Doncic himself came a rebound away from another triple-double. He had 28 points, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds, but he was a woeful 3 for 7 from the free throw line. Both teams did not shoot the ball well from the free throw line in their basketball game against one another. This came down to the opportunity in the fourth quarter where Chris Middleton hit back-to-back three-pointers that took a 2-point lead away from the Dallas Mavericks and put the Milwaukee Bucks up 4, and they never looked back from there. They did have an opportunity in the closing stages to potentially get an opportunity to tie the basketball game, or take the lead, I should say, when it was 109-107. Kristaps Porzingis missed a 3-point shot. The Dallas Mavericks were unable to get themselves an opportunity after that to try and win the basketball game. There was a lot of questions about whether or not, once the initial rebound was got, to be able to call a timeout. They did not do so.
Luka, you obviously wanted a timeout called after you guys got that late offensive rebound. Having had some time to process the situation, what are your thoughts on that at this point?
I don't know. It's called decision. So, but if we would have made the shot, everything would be good. So, if we made the shot, everything would be different. But I don't know. It's called just this decision to call a timeout. I don't know. So I think it's good.
And the Dallas Mavericks go on to lose 112-109. They were buoyed by a 13-point third quarter by Tim Hardaway, where they outscored the Milwaukee Bucks 34-29. But this game was a lot about what the Mavericks were unable to do in transition and stopping Giannis Antetokounmpo, not only in transition but also in the paint. Willie Cauley-Stein had no answer for Giannis or Brook Lopez, who at will at times in this basketball game was able to hit jumpers over him. And for Giannis, who was a nightmare matchup against anybody in the NBA, took it to the Mavericks in the paint at will when he wanted to all night long. He's not able at this point to consistently hit the ball from the three-point line, although he hit a three-pointer that was a clutch shot earlier in that basketball game. But at the same time, Giannis is not a real threat from the three-point line. Still, his ability to drive the paint and get out in transition and what makes him lethal as far as a player is concerned. Obviously, he's the reigning defensive player of the year, and his ability to rebound the basketball was on display also with another near 10 rebounds in this game. Kristaps Porzingis had 15 points and 10 rebounds in this game in nearly 30 minutes of play. As far as his second game was returned after coming off of a meniscus tear, played okay, shooting 6 of 19, but at the same time, still getting his legs under him.
Hey, good evening, Kristaps. How are you feeling after your second game? Obviously playing nearly 30 minutes in this one. Are you feeling like you're getting your legs back under you, especially having 10 rebounds tonight also?
Yeah, physically, I'm feeling fine. I was pretty fresh after the last game. Today, I was actually surprised I played that many minutes. Probably, yeah. I mean, it would have been better if I knew that I was able to play that many minutes. I think I would have been more calm out there. I was just. I feel like I'm just trying to still find that rhythm and make the right decisions. And I just kind of, I feel a bit disappointed in my performance today, but it is what it is. We got another one in a couple of days, But this one definitely slipped out of our hands, and I need to be better. I need to play better.
As the Mavericks fall in losing this basketball game, snapping their 4-game winning streak, you saw this team, its inability at times to show the kind of urgency and effort that you are accustomed to seeing, especially for a team that's been playing so well on the defensive end. And they didn't play terribly on the defensive end. They just did not execute at the right times and the right moments. And questions will linger about whether or not Rick Carlisle should have called a timeout to at least get the ball into Luka Doncic's hands even after a timeout.
Rick, Luka clearly felt like there should have been a timeout called there after that late offensive rebound you got before Porzingis missed the three. What were your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that sequence?
Yeah, I like the ball in his hands and the defense not being set. We got one great look at a three from Burke at the top, and then we got an offensive rebound, and KP got a look. So we got two good looks, and you always want to save your timeout if you can. So, that's the reason. And it's very difficult to call a timeout and go against a Milwaukee set defense out of the timeout. So I think in those situations, if you can put the ball in your best player's hands, you'll get better opportunities. And I thought we got two good ones.
Luka Doncic was visibly upset by the Mavericks not calling a timeout once the initial rebound was gotten off the first missed three-pointer. And what happened then afterwards was not a sequence that allowed the Dallas Mavericks to try and stave off an opportunity to try and get back into this basketball game. So, for the Dallas Mavericks, they will return home to take on the Chicago Bulls on Sunday, where they will get a chance to see a guy in Zach LaVine who has made at least 7 3-pointers in back-to-back basketball games, and the Chicago Bulls have already beaten the Dallas Mavericks once this season. That was when Jalen Brunson went off for over 30 points in that game, but it was a road loss for the Dallas Mavericks. But more so than anything in this basketball game, there are a couple of things that Luka Doncic, to me, is going to have to continue to improve. Obviously, we know that he hasn't shot the ball well from the three-point line and did so once again in this game, going only 1 of 7 from downtown. But one thing he's going to have to become much better at is a catch-and-shoot guy from the three-point line and from distance, because teams obviously know what kind of driver he is and what he's able to do in terms of the court vision and the passes that he's able to make. He's got to start making teams pay for the ability to leave him wide open, especially on catch-and-shoot opportunities. If he continues to improve in that area, he will become an unstoppable force. We know at times he takes bad shots with those step-back threes and continues to do so at times and has not shot the ball well from three this year. But he's got to be more consistent in terms of making teams pay when they leave him wide open for threes on catch-and-shoot opportunities. Additionally, and there were plenty of times you saw this in the game against the Milwaukee Bucks, sometimes Luka Doncic tends to stand around and watch the ball move without him. He's going to have to be much better on the move without the basketball and be a better cutter and to be able to move better in space so that he continues to put additional pressure on defenses even without the basketball. His movement without the basketball will force teams to not only defend him more closely, it's not like they're already doing so, but then force them to make decisions on what he will do not only as a cutter, but also once he gets the ball, how others will be able to move off of him because of his own movement once he does get the ball into his hands. Those are the kinds of things that will continue to evolve, I believe, in Luka Doncic's game, especially when he's a guy that has the highest usage rate in all of the NBA and dominates and leads the league in terms of time of possession and the amount of 10 dribble possessions that he has also. Because we know how good of a creator he is when he has the basketball in his hands, and he's going to be the primary ball handler for this basketball team. And you say, well, Josh Richardson is out at the moment. He takes some of that pressure off of Luka Doncic in terms of being a ball handler. I understand that. But even once Josh Richardson comes back, this is going to be a team in the Dallas Mavericks that's going to need to continue to move the basketball and get the ball out of Doncic's hands in terms of the amount of dribbling that he's doing at times with respect to his penetration, and sometimes the Mavericks getting disinterested in possessions because he is doing so much dribble driving, and the team is just watching him try and get the ball to the paint to create something for them in terms of wide open shots. Yes, Luka Doncic is going to give you a bunch of wide open shots because of his ability to dribble, drive, and penetrate, court vision, and the passes that he makes. But he's going to have to be better off the ball in terms of his movement and also be a better catch and shoot guy from downtown to make teams pay for leaving him wide open. You saw at times this team struggled defensively. We mentioned Willie Cauley-Stein drew a tough defensive assignment against Giannis and Brook Lopez. This is the team in the Milwaukee Bucks who are number 1 in offensive rating and also one of the best in terms of effective field goal percentage. So this is a team that can really shoot the basketball and can fill it up efficiently, as you see much of that being buoyed by a guy and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Chris Middleton also had himself a very nice night with respect to his game. Yes, going 8 of 20, but those 2 clutch 3-pointers late in the fourth quarter allowed him to get 25 points, and those 2 buckets were crucial in allowing the Milwaukee Bucks to win this basketball game. As we mentioned, the Mavericks were able to get back into this game in the third quarter. Tim Hardaway had 13 points of his own to help them get back into the basketball game. But as you will hear from Tim Hardaway, he continues to find himself getting in good rhythm. Here's what he had to say about his third quarter after the game was over with.
Hey, good evening, Tim. You guys got yourselves back in it in the third quarter. You had 13 points there. In the third quarters this year, it seems like you've been able to find a rhythm in those quarters. What's it about those third quarters that you've been able to get yourself in that kind of rhythm in those quarters there?
Just coming out, not being aggressive. You know, once halftime is over, you kind of get the idea of how teams are playing you at that point. So just try to pick and choose your spots wisely, and when the ball comes to you, just be confident and knock it down. And it's great that your teammates are finding you once you get it rolling and your numbers fall.
So Tim Hardaway continuing to understand that he has to stay ready and make the necessary adjustments on teams when teams make the necessary adjustments against him to be able to be in the best positions to be able to create for his teammates. For Kristaps Porzingis, continuing to get himself into rhythm, he will continue to find himself getting better, especially with the ability to play and get rest on off days. So the Mavericks will have an opportunity once they get back home to take on a Chicago Bulls team that's going to be ready for them to go. But for the Dallas Mavericks at 6-5 now, having a 4-game winning streak snapped, this is a time for reevaluation with respect to closing out games in clutch time and being able to do so. This was a team that was able to get themselves back into the basketball game. At one point, was able to regain their first lead since 10-9 early in the first quarter against the Milwaukee Bucks, and they battled back, and you love the resiliency of this team. Once this team is fully healthy and being able to have all of its parts back, there is no doubt in my mind that this team will continue its ascension up the top of the Western Conference. They are dealing right now with a tough situation with as many players out as they have had out due to the COVID-19 protocols. But once this team gets back to full strength with Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA, obviously with Jalen Brunson as a backup point guard, and what they continue to get from Josh Richardson, especially when he's consistently defending and hitting shots from the outside, this Mavericks team is going to be fine. But to compete with one of the best teams in the NBA and be as shorthanded as they were is a testament to the toughness of this basketball team and what they will continue to do once they are fully healthy and coming back all together. We will see once they do so how this team will continue to gel, and you're seeing what that will look like with Willie Cauley-Stein and Kristaps Porzingis at the 4 and 5 position and how he will continue to get better also. You heard from Kristaps Porzingis earlier in this video about how he's continuing to feel about his game and how he rushed the shot at the end of the game with respect to making sure he's staying more calm and not rushing shots and possessions. That comes with his ability to continue to get his NBA legs back under him as he readjusts himself getting back into playing the NBA game. So not too much concern after this loss. A very good basketball team in the Milwaukee Bucks, a decimated team in terms of the COVID-19 protocols at this point for the Dallas Mavericks, and they still hung in there and still gave themselves a chance to win this basketball game. And with all of that they dealt with, to be able to have that chance at the end, you give them credit for fighting back into this basketball game when they could have laid down when things were getting bad, especially early on in the first half, which was really what doomed them, especially in the first quarter and in most of that first half. So the Dallas Mavericks will regroup, take on the Chicago Bulls on Sunday, and try to get back into the win column. And hopefully, as this thing continues to roll on, a team that has a very tough schedule to start off the first half of the season with still multiple road games left before they have a 7-game home stretch in February. You're going to see this team's mettle continue to get tested night in and night out with getting the best punches from teams across the rest of the NBA. But for now, the Dallas Mavericks fall to 6-5 after a 112-109 loss. They will get back on the floor against Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls on Sunday. I will be at that game, so be sure to lock it in on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports, and also right here on YouTube at Kevin Gray Sports for continuing coverage of the Dallas Mavericks. It's been the Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.